Alright. Boom. Alright. We're doing it. We are apparently live.
Doing it well.
Streaming both live to YouTube and Twitch.
It's a little LL for you guys.
Assuming we are. LL? What's LL?
LL Cool J.
Oh, LL Cool J.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ladies love Cool James.
Ladies love? Is that what it stands for?
That's what LL Cool J stands for.
I didn't know that LL stood for Ladies Love. That makes so much sense.
See?
I thought his name. That was like his name, like Luke Lambian.
Lambian.
What the fuck, Lambian? It's not even a word.
It's not. It's
Luke
very much a made-up sound and word. All right.
That's what I thought that was. Okay.
We're live though, so cool.
Hello, welcome to the show. Welcome back. If you're watching us live, it means it's Tuesday. It's the day that Paul and I stream this show to both Twitch and our respective YouTube channels. Right now you're watching Side A. We actually split the show up into two halves. Side A right now for this week is on my half of the show. It's on my channel on Awesome Sauce Network. And you can go head over to Paul's half when we switch gears at Paul's Hardware on YouTube. So, yes. Wow, did that hit you in the face? Did the cap hit you?
No, right. It was blocked by my glasses.
Oh, good.
That's what they're there for.
Yeah, they're actually false lenses. It's just for protection.
Sorry, you were talking so well, I didn't want to distract you to ask for your bottle opener.
I'm a great speaker. Oh, yeah. You just opened that with a freaking knife. Bear Grylls over here.
Fuck yeah.
Fuck yeah. So welcome, guys. Welcome back. For those of you for long-timers, you veterans, and for those of you newcomers, hey, welcome to you as well. So, hopefully you enjoy the show. We've got some good stuff in store. By the way, bonus points to whoever can spot the dildo in today's set.
I thought that was supposed to be like an Easter egg.
It's more of an Easter tip.
It's not.
But if you guys can spot the dildo,
It's not hidden that well.
I mean, it might take them a while.
No, that was not
although our audience is pretty sharp. Again, with the bad pour.
I was not prepared for this. Anyway, beer check. Ballast Points Sea Monster Imperial Stout is what I'm drinking today. It's a 10% brew, so the second half should be loads of fun.
Yep.
Stay tuned for that.
Yeah, and I got the Becky's Black Cat Porter from Seven Brides Brewing. Sorry, Seven Brides. I've never had a beer from this brewery before, but it is a Black Cat Porter. Actually, that's not a genre of beer. It's just a porter. They call it Becky's Black Cat Porter. So maybe it's bad luck that it's being crossed in front of me right now. But it's 7%, 55 IBUs, SRM 80. What's SRM?
It's serial retention
maintenance. Obviously.
Management. Serial retention retainer.
Sounds right. Sounds perfect.
Super redactive mousetrap.
Some ridiculous metric.
Some ridiculous. That's a good one. Some ridiculous metric.
Okay, so to start things off, let's just start things off with the shit we sell. We sell things to stay in business. Really, this is a business, guys. If you think we do this for fun or the joy or the passion that we have for tech,
it's all about the
money.
It's
all bullshit. We just want the cold hard cash.
All about that cash money.
As Luke Labius Cool J
dollar bills
says in all of his songs. Okay, we are selling some shit. I'm selling my CPU cooler shirt, which Paul is so elegantly demonstrating here on his chest. You can pick one of those up. Also, the BIOS Flasher shirt is still on the shelves for now, so you can pick one of those up in whatever size you choose. And also, Paul has stuff. Paul has lots of stuff.
I have stuff too.
I'm wearing a Paul's Hardware shirt right now.
Kyle is.
Did you put that shirt on after I came here realizing I was wearing a Paul's Hardware shirt?
No, this was completely uncoordinated.
This was just telepathy.
Paul'sHardware.net though. You can't buy this shirt that Kyle's wearing anymore.
That's why I'm wearing it, because it feels special to me.
But the shirts you can buy there now could eventually be like Kyle's shirt, now a shirt that other people can't get anymore and now is exclusive to you. That could happen.
That's true. They're like in-win cases, right? There's only like a certain amount of them made, and once they're gone, they're gone.
Indeed.
You gotta wait for the next.
Also, guys, John, who runs our stores, has been on a bit of a vacay for a week or two. He just followed up with us, though. He's back now. He's getting caught up. By next week, everything should be back up to speed.
Yeah.
And also, we're gonna be doing some restocking and all that kind of stuff. So.
Yes. And then really quick, if you happen to buy something from each of our stores, whether it's during the stream or anytime after that, you will get some saved shipping costs on that because we both go through the same t-shirt guy. So that's nice. And also, we will be giving Johnson shoutouts at the end of each stream, each half of the stream, as always.
Provided we remember.
Provided we remember. By the way, thank you, Pup Shepard, for the donation. Yes, we did get your shirt in the mail. I did get your shirt in the mail. It was phenomenal. Where is that shirt? Do you still have the shirt?
What?
The shirt we got from Pup. That was from Pup, right? We got a shirt.
I went to my PO box yesterday, and I did get a package that I believe is a shirt. I have not opened it yet.
Okay.
I didn't. There's not enough stuff. I try to like save up for a few weeks before I do mail time. Otherwise, it's just one or two odd things.
Right.
So we'll probably open that up in a future episode.
Yeah, and I'm gonna say this I probably speak on behalf of Paul too. When I say this is, if you guys send us shirts and they actually fit us and they're like appropriate and won't get us banned from Twitch, I personally wouldn't mind wearing them on the stream.
Yes.
New shirts are always good because Paul and I both hate shopping for clothes. It's not something that we look forward to. So if you guys want to give us some shirts or whatever, from whether you make them yourself or you just want to pimp us out with some swag, I think we would be more than happy to rock them on the stream.
It's been a very long time since I actually went out and bought a t-shirt.
Me too, because
conventions. Unless you count the shirts I've bought on my store.
Yeah, exactly.
I've bought those in bulk.
Yes.
So actually, maybe I've bought lots of t-shirts. I've bought hundreds of them.
We've actually bought more t-shirts than any one of our viewers.
All right.
But yeah, good shit to know. Paul's a large.
I'm a large.
And I'm a medium.
Cal's medium.
Paul's just so much bigger than me. In every way.
It's all the muscle mass.
All the muscle mass.
Mostly the fat deposits at this point in time. It's all right though. I'm working out every day now.
It'll help you in the Southern California winters.
Okay.
All right.
I don't know. I don't have a response for that.
I was waiting. That's okay. All right. To fund or not to fund is our first segment.
Yay.
This is basically where Paul and I check out a couple Kickstarters or Indiegogo campaigns. I think they're all from Kickstarter today. These are crowdsourced, crowdfunded campaigns, and we just like to see whether or not they are worth our hard-earned dollars in backing. I've never really personally backed a Kickstarter or any kind of crowdfunded campaign in my life.
Segment's just a sham.
Maybe that'll change here. Who knows? By the way, thank you for the $3 donation. DSTRBD
Disturber Medic.
Yes, thank you for watching our show. How long is the AIO cooler good for?
Yes, how long AIO coolers? I would start keeping a very close ear to the pump in particular after 3 years' time.
It's usually
you said yours is 4 years. I would consider updating it. That is one definite benefit of an air cooler is you don't have to be sitting there being concerned like my pump's gonna die.
Yeah, right.
It's gonna happen at some time. Granted, it could be 3 years, could be 10 years, but after 3-4 is your chances start to rise. So
yes,
that's not something you want to deal with.
True.
Anyway,
by the way, shout out to Joker in chat. What's up, bruh?
What's up, Joker?
And also to our everyday mods. Thank you, Sal and Spider-Fan, for being here. Anyone who I might have missed.
I see Mike in there too.
Mike Manic. What up, Manic? So thank you guys for being here as well. All right,
the first... All good people.
All good peeps. So the first item on our list here for to fund or not to fund is this new mini ITX case from some random...
From Dan.
Some company. Some Dan. It's Dan.
It's my friend Dan.
Dan's the man. And that's what kind of strikes me as this, like, being, like, is this kind of legit? Is this a legit Kickstarter, or is this all just for the lols or for the monies? Is this a scam? I don't know. But the case looks good. And I think I saw a Reddit post in the hardware subreddit that was actually concerned that this might not be legitimate because there's no kind of information on Dan Cases. Who is this guy or company or whatever it is?
I think it's just one dude.
It might just be one dude
working out of his house.
Yeah, he might just have like a CNC mill or something, and he just makes cases all day.
Yep.
But who knows if he's reputable or not? But if you're willing to take a risk on a Kickstarter campaign such as this one, let's talk about some of the features here. This is a mini ITX case. So, of course, smaller form factor boards supported SFX power supplies in order to get that super tiny footprint, if you will. And it looks really nice. It's got kind of a brushed aluminum finish, very sexy. Kind of reminds me of the N-Case M1. I believe that's the M1. Yeah, the N-Case M1. However, there are some differences here. So, while you do still get full-length GPU support of 295 millimeters, so if you wanted to put like a GTX 1080 Founders Edition in there, you could do that. It's got a PCIe ribbon cable and riser card. So the GPU actually sits vertical or parallel to the motherboard alignment. So that's kind of interesting. And I kind of like that configuration because with the side panel having that open ventilation that it does, you're actually getting some fresh intake from that side of the case.
Huh.
It is really tiny. I would say it's probably about as tiny as the the M1, the N case. It's got 2 SSD or hard drive mounts in the cage, and you've also got a third drive mount option behind the front cover. It's only got a single USB 3.0 port at the front. Very minimalistic. Just a single one port. No USB 2, just one port.
It's at the bottom, too, as well as the power
Well, that's
switch.
on its side.
Yeah.
At the bottom. Okay, yeah. Exactly, at the bottom. Additionally, it's got a... the side panel is actually using kind of a Lian Li patented technology, the push pins. You familiar with those side panels that kind of just pop in, pop out?
Yes.
Completely toolless. They're very nice, actually. So that's really nice if you want to just get in and out of your case with convenience.
Okay.
The one thing I will say here is that it looks like there's some pretty limited CPU cooler clearance in terms of height compatibility.
Oh yeah.
They've got a stock cooler in there. I don't think you're getting much more out of that. And unlike the N case, this doesn't feature water cooling. At least it doesn't say anything about it in here. So I don't know if you'd be able to overclock a CPU in here very well. It looks like you're pretty limited with some low-profile options in terms of cooling.
Wait. There is ventilation on all three sides. So I'm just speculating here, obviously, but if you could, you'd probably be really limited. You'd have to like take an all-in-one cooler and put the block on here and like take the tubing and go like 3/4 of the way around the case, and then put the 120 like right here up against the against the panel, and you'd probably have to drill custom holes for it and that kind of thing. And you'd probably again be really limited on space. Yeah. So again, I'm just like when you did the all-in-one cooler in the Node 202. I enjoyed that video.
Yeah, and, no, that was fun. That was a lot of fun, and that could this case could possibly introduce some kind of a endeavor similar to that, right? Where you kind of MacGyver your way into fitting an AIO in there.
It takes the case from something that you could fit, maybe a non-overclockable CPU in, or maybe you can put an overclockable CPU in it, but you're probably not going to get much out of it because you can't fit a good cooler to. If you can put it all in one, like the pump block is pretty slim. Yeah. It can fit in a pretty minimal amount of space. It's just a matter of getting the tubing over somewhere where you can mount a 120 millimeter radiator.
Right.
And then it goes from like, oh, well, you could put a full-fledged unlock CPU, overclock it, and put a really nice graphics card on the other side, and that'd be pretty badass.
Yep. I'd be curious to see, even if you got like, one of the slimmest radiators in an AIO, which I believe is like probably 20 or 25 millimeters thick. Or you could probably fit like a slim fan in there. I mean, unless you could fit a full-size fan.
Do you think you had more hands-on time with it than I did, but the Cooler Master little unit, the hybrid, from Computex. Do you think that would fit in here?
Because it
rotates. Would. You could, if you rotated it flat.
Yeah. I think if you put
could be possible.
If the fan could go on the bottom of the radiator, well, I guess it wouldn't matter. No, yeah, technically it would matter in a way. Yeah, you know what? That's a really good question.
It'd be all down to Z height.
Yeah, but that would be cool though. So $260.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
Whoa. Whoa.
If there's anything that could change your mind about being on the fence of pulling the trigger on this thing, $260 USD.
Oh god.
To kickstart this thing, which I think is the fatal flaw that we're seeing here with the damn A4-SFX.
230 pounds sterling. Pounds sterling, I believe. Is that?
Well,
what do the Brits call it?
Well, that's euro, isn't it?
Oh, I'm sorry, that's euros.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, not pounds.
Pounds is the fancier one that looks
like pounds are worth more as well.
Right.
So 230 euros or 256 US dollars.
Okay, 256, sure.
Jeez.
So,
but they have almost 1,000 people who have committed that much money to it. So
yeah,
certainly people interested in a case of this stature.
Right.
What do you get?
I wonder if like half of that cost is just for the Lian Li patent of those push pins.
You can get two of them for 460, which is the same. No, that's okay. That's the same price.
It's really, really expensive of a case to not feature water cooling.
Yeah.
Because if you think about the N-Case M1, you've got water cooling support. It's about the same footprint and like kind of square footage, if you would. But it's at $185. So.
Wait, what's 185?
The N-Case.
Oh, the N-Case.
The N-Case M1 is like $185, and it features water. You can get an AIO in there if you wanted to. I think it's just a better design overall, but this is still pretty interesting because you don't see very many like super clean mini ITX cases these days that have that small of a footprint. if they can just lower the price a lot, then I would buy one myself and check it out for review. But I just can't justify the price point here.
It's weird. It's weird how that, I don't know, for some reason $150 to $180 to me sounds like in the realm of possibility for this case. But yet
180,
250 plus just seems like no,
insane.
That's too much.
Yeah. I could see 150.
Do they mill the entire
It depends on the
case
build
out
quality
of a single
too.
block of aluminum or
It
something?
depends on the build quality. I mean, I can see why it might cost a lot with the PCIe, the ribbon cable and the riser card, things like that. I mean,
it's a chassis. It's a steel and aluminum chassis. I mean, most of the cost for getting something like this to market is setting up the tooling properly in the factory so that they can mass produce them.
Right.
And granted, for specialized parts, for stuff that's smaller or stuff that there's not already an established manufacturing chain set up for, it can be much more expensive.
Yeah.
We've learned a little bit of this from talking to case manufacturers that we know of, but that's a lot of money.
And the problem with this case is if you're going to be spending that much on a chassis, you're going to want to put a higher end system in it, I would assume. You're not going to put like some $300 cheapy HTPC, components in here. You're going to want like some decent shit to game or whatever. And the fact that you can't water cool in here, just for the CPU, you can't fit an AIO in here. It's like no one's going to buy like, a locked SKU chip that they, and spend $250 on the case. I just can't see that.
Yeah. Like,
why wouldn't you just take some of the money you spent on the case and put it towards an overclockable chip with an AIO on there, and have way, significantly more performance. So it's a weird kind of niche. The price puts it in a weird kind of pocket of users.
For anyone all right, so there's a few people in chat who think it's surprising that I would consider $150 to $180 for a case like this. It's because it's not a major company that's producing it. If this was coming from a major company like Cooler Master, you didn't open it.
I did not just try to do that.
Kyle just tried to pour his beer and he hasn't.
For some reason, I thought you might have opened it for me.
No, I didn't.
I'm glad you didn't.
I didn't.
It's fresher now.
Yeah. Larger companies can create cases less expensively. This being like a little bit more of a niche product and maybe a little bit more of like a boutique kind of product. That's why I was thinking the higher price. But also, when you come out with a price at like $250 or $300, it does make $150 seem more reasonable, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. And not that that's actually true, but that's just one of those factors of pricing and how it works with your mind and psychology.
Yeah. Good analytical thought process there. I'm forever changed. Okay. Thank you, Flippin' Fred, for the donation. Hey, Paul, thanks for the input on the Fantex Enthu Lux Vlog 4. I'm receiving mine tomorrow. White edition like Kyle's. You guys rock.
Oh.
Thank you, Flippin' Fred. We appreciate that. Hopefully your build goes well. Okay, let's take a look at our next contender here on To Fund or Not to Fund, which is the Wooting 1. The Wooting 1. This is an analog keyboard.
Oh, this was what you linked in that. I didn't show this. That's okay. All right, we're moving on.
Oh, yeah, that's fine. So the Wooting 1 is an analog keyboard. It's mechanical. It features mechanical switches, but pretty much every mechanical keyboard that you've probably seen a tech tuber like Paul or I review has been a digital keyboard, which means it's a 0 or 1 signal. As soon as you press a key or you initiate a keystroke, it's 0 to 100 instantly. There's no in between. It's either on or off of a signal. Analog, however, works in a different way, where as the output is correlated to how much pressure you're putting onto a particular key. So a great example that they use in this is racing games. So if I was playing a racing game with a just traditional digital mechanical keyboard, as soon as I press forward or drive or initiate the gas, I'm going from 0 to 100 just instantly. However, if I wanted to kind of slow down that acceleration, I would kind of have to do like a tapping. I think we've all been there before in like GTA 5. If you don't want to go like super full throttle, you kind of do like this tapping motion with your W key, right? Well, with an analog key, you would simply just hold the key down a little bit less. You would just, the travel distance achieved would be a little bit less than you would normally at full throttle if you wanted to go balls to the wall speed. A controller is a very great example of analog controls. The joystick, for example, if your character wanted to run, you would just kind of put the joystick full tilt forward, or if you wanted to walk in the virtual environment, you would simply just kind of move it up a little bit, and you would be walking. Okay, so there's a huge difference there between digital and analog. That kind of explains
triggers
things.
Triggers here
as
too,
well
on the Xbox controllers.
Yep.
They detect how far down you've pressed them, so
Right.
it's like you can give it a little bit of gas, you can go all the way down.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas the buttons, the bumpers up here, they're just on, off, on,
Yes,
off.
exactly.
So
there are some cool little kind of neat applications that you could take advantage of with an analog keyboard like this.
what do you call it when you combine an analog and a mechanical keyboard in the same thing? We should come up with a word for it.
Digi-anal.
I was thinking anal canonical.
Anal-canical.
Anal.
Oh, you mean if you're mixing analog and mechanical? Oh, I thought you meant analog and digital. Okay, yeah.
And a digital. No, but this is analog. You can't mix analog and digital. They're diametrically opposed.
No. Well, like the controller example you were showing us, right? Has both analog and digital controls on it.
Okay,
So
yes,
that's what I thought you were referring
button.
to.
Not the same button.
No, of course, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yes,
Okay.
an analog/mechanical switch, right? What'd you say?
Anal canonical.
Anal-canical.
Anal canonical.
Mechanical.
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 Mechanical? No. Mechanolog. Analog.
Mechanolog.
Mechanolog.
Mechanolog. That sounds like a McDonald's product.
You're right.
It's the McAnal.
I like all of these options.
The McAnal.
Right.
Let's just call it the McAnal.
The Meccano. Alright, so the Meccano keyboard from Wooting is available for a buy-in of just... How much money you gotta pay for
$112
this?
USD.
$112 or 100 euros. Oh, jeez.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, Jesus.
God.
Oh, the dogs.
It's okay. It's alright. This thing's built like a
What
tank.
was hanging down there that got pulled off?
It was just the vape and the vape juice.
But how did they... I tried to make sure there were no wires going across
No,
there.
there were no wires, but I think... Oh. He pulled this, and like it was like that. So
okay,
the wire
okay.
actually pulled the vape down.
Alright.
But it's okay. I'm actually shocked this is still intact.
That was amazing.
That's why you buy high-quality juice.
That is very high quality juice.
High-quality glass
Yeah.
right there.
I have no idea what the dog's barking at.
Did someone send us a pizza?
God, I hope not.
Hold on, I'll check this time.
Your check? I was gonna check.
You always check. I'll give you a break.
Well, let's switch back to the old... Oh, wow. Sorry about the noise, everyone. You see, dogs are loud creatures. She will not shut her yapper right now, by the way. That's Nori, by the way. Nori has been much more... There's nothing there, right?
No.
It's nothing.
I have no idea what
All of this commotion you've experienced in the last minute has been due to nothing.
Yeah, there's no one there.
I really like when she does that. Oh, careful! They're touching your wire again. Just make sure
I'll tuck it under.
Just make sure they have a clear path, so if they go tearing in that direction,
I know.
they don't pull anything
I'm moving
off.
it inward towards our
You
feet.
guys don't understand how freaked out I've gotten about the dogs tearing out of this room,
Ruining
and
everything.
taking important equipment with them.
Ugh.
I've gotten for a while I was
It's a
stringing
nightmare.
some wires across the floor here between this area where we're at and that area over there.
Yeah.
And no more. Everything goes up over the top now.
It's a good call.
Oh my God. All right.
That's quite terrifying.
Pup Shepherd, thanks for your $1 donation.
Thank you.
That was not Jay. No,
It's not Jay.
I haven't heard from Jay today.
Although Jay still remains a dickhole.
He is still a dickhole, though.
Okay,
Alright.
so more about this Wooting 1 keyboard. Like I said, it does feature mechanical switches. However, they're not Cherry MX. They are Flare Tech switches, which I have never heard of.
Flare Tech. It's interesting.
And actually, Dimitri has done a review on the Wooting 1 kind of recently, so check that out on Hardware Canucks.
Okay.
I caught a few pieces of it. I'm not exactly sure what his opinions were on these types of switches. However, they are offered in red and blue. So if you want to get the linear versus the bump with the clickiness,
Clicky bump.
clicky bump, you can do that. It's
Alright.
RGB backlit, and like Paul said, 112 USD. I would really like to check one of these out just to see what it's like.
Yeah.
It's just just to say I've tried it and kind of get a full experience.
So it seems like the analog elements of this keyboard would almost exclusively be useful for gaming.
Yes.
Right?
I would think so.
Because, I mean, granted, maybe there's some creative apps or that kind of thing that could benefit from, like, detecting a partial key press or something. But for gaming in particular, so the demonstrations that they have here are an action game, which is somebody with a bow and arrow, so they're using the key to pull back the bow to a certain degree.
Right.
And maybe you don't want to pull it back all the way. Maybe you don't want, maybe...
Sure.
Yeah, okay.
But you know what? It's interesting is if the action starts as soon as you start depressing the key, does that mean that it's technically a quicker switch than a Cherry MX switch? Like if you start pulling back that bow as soon as you go 1 millimeter down, or like, you know, half a millimeter or 0.01 millimeters down, is that technically a much shorter actuation distance?
I don't know.
That would be an interesting test if we got like a high-speed camera.
It depends on the switches that they're using.
Yeah.
And I don't know if the developers of the keyboard would have any option for saying, like, as soon as it's detected any key press, activate the switch.
Yeah.
Because, granted, it's going to have to account for analog situations as well as just an on-off situation.
Yeah.
Too. Like, if you're just
You'd be
typing,
yeah.
you know, it doesn't care about the analog aspect of it. But
Right. What if you were typing and you like held down a key and like just halfway and it like typed out half of a letter?
Just half the letter appears.
Drawing it. I don't know.
That would be useful for so many things. It'd be super useful.
Just ignore everything I say.
All right.
Thank you, Brick, for the donation. Thank you for the vape money. It will definitely be used.
You got
put to good use.
Those vape monies. All right, racing games seem like a really good application. Obviously, you can control your acceleration.
Yeah.
The gas and throttle, steering wheel. MOBA games, it says, bind multiple key actuation over a single keystroke. Gain the advantage to make... So, see you casting a range during pressing down Q and cast a spell on bottoming out.
Okay.
That's interesting.
So you could actually have multiple functions assigned per key, right?
Okay.
That's kind of how the...
That'd take a lot of practice. Get used to like a half press on that key is one spell and a full press is a different spell or a different action.
It's kind of like how the consoles are, right? Like you hold down the trigger halfway and you suddenly start looking down the sights. You aim down the sights, but then if you actually go full throttle, it starts to shoot. I would assume it's kind of like that.
All right, so that could be useful.
Yeah. So let us know what you guys think.
And it's got digital and analog mode, so you can just switch to digital mode.
That's nice.
And it just switches back to the on-off.
I was gonna say
okay.
You kind of need both at the same time. But cool stuff there. And then let's go to the most interesting and I think the most compelling offer here on the table for To Fund or Not to Fund, which is the Thin Ice 2.0.
Oh yeah.
It's a next generation weight loss clothing line.
Ah.
And this is going to change everything.
Is that Meatloaf? No.
That looks like Meatloaf.
He collapsed on stage.
So this, I picked this because it's just the most ridiculous thing I've seen in a long time.
So she's got it's like an Iron Man like that core. So you have to have like a universal power like limitless power supply built into your chest.
Right. It's powered by the universe. The universe just sends it energy.
What?
Thermodynamically.
Stimulates the body with cold temperatures to induce an estimated 500 to 1,000 calories of thermogenic calorie burning.
Thermogenic calorie burning is the future, guys. I can tell you right now, it's going to revolutionize the way we don't exercise.
Look at this guy. He's not wearing one, and he's reading a book, and obviously he's not getting...
No, he is, because they have a vest now.
Oh!
Yeah, that was the old version.
That was the prototype.
The Iron Man one was like the pleb version. Now you get like the sexy, sleek vest that you can just throw on under your suit or jacket, or you can sleep with it.
Oh, good.
You can sleep and lose weight. It's fascinating.
So...
you can jerk it.
Well, that already burns calories. So
that is true. It like multiplies it though.
So correct me if I'm wrong here.
Multiplicative jerk.
But this
burns.
makes your body think it's cold. So that would make your muscles like tense up and shiver and stuff like that. Is that what's causing the calorie?
To some degree, I think
the weight loss here. Because if that's the case, they should be changing this video a little bit and showing the people
like Eskimo, like in Eskimo like raps.
Like when the dude's just sitting here, when she's just sitting there, right? She should be
shivering,
right?
For her life.
That's what.
I'm so fucking cold.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I'm losing so much weight right now.
All right, so look, it uses the gears that are in your chest.
Yeah.
And
it takes
the
advantage of
synapses in your brain.
Oh, this guy's hilarious. He's like, I'm a gamer, so this is kind of like a cheat code to me.
Really?
And I'm totally for that. Yeah, he actually says, they actually have him say something like that.
He says it's like a cheat code?
Yeah.
That's really stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought it was brilliant marketing.
He's burning calories by being a douchebag. If you're used to just being a douchebag at work and getting nothing from it other than like your own personal self-satisfaction or whatever, now you can be a douchebag at work and burn calories.
You should call it the douche burner.
The douche burner.
The douche burner 2.0. So just 100 and... No, wait. I don't even have a price on it. I didn't take any notes for this. I barely looked through the article because it's just ridiculous.
This comes from Canada as well. This also comes from Canada. Just want to point that out.
Just another reason to distrust Canadians.
$129 Canadian. That's about $101 US because apparently the Canadian... What is the Canadian dollar even called? A Canuck dollar? Canuck coins?
Nice coins.
Nice coins.
Nice dollars.
Nice. They're just non-intrusive. Just dollars, having a good time. Hoping you're having a good time too. You know. Okay.
It's the nicest money ever.
It's very nice. This was all anyway. 149 Canadian. No, these are all gone too. You will need to now spend 169 Canadian Canuck coins. That's about 132 US dollars to get in on the Thin Ice system. I'm excited.
Yes,
I'm excited. I'm gonna order this right away.
I've already kickstarted it.
Okay.
I'm backing it right now.
Well then, hey, how about we move on to your next segment?
Let's do that because this item isn't getting any more interesting. Our next segment is Pimp My PC. We're bringing it back.
Pimp My PC.
After quite some time, it's taken quite the hiatus. I feel like we haven't done a Pimp My PC in several months.
We also didn't do awesome hardware in general for a couple weeks.
That is true. That's also true. But it's nice to have this segment back. This is one of my favorite segments to do because we get a chance to look at all of your guys' PC submissions that you've obviously submitted and tell you what you're doing wrong.
All right, enough intro. Let's move on.
Move on.
David Duchovny.
David.
Isn't he from the X-Files?
Is it Duchovny or Douche Convy?
David Duchovny.
Douche Convy. I mean,
I don't. He's a nice fan who sent in pictures of his computer.
No, but I'm just saying, is that his real name?
I don't know how.
His Twitter handle is Douche Convy.
Duchovny. I'm just gonna call him David Duchovny. The truth is out there, David.
Douche Convy.
All right.
Douche.
His system features a CM Stormtrooper, Z170X G1 motherboard. That's a Gigabyte, an i5 6600K, 32 gigs of G-Skill RAM, Cooler Master 212 Plus.
Yep.
And red LED fans.
All right.
Got the Razer logo on the side there, as well as the stickers.
Yes. Case badges.
Stickers there, the case badges.
Those are always fun. Okay. First off, if you're going for a ketchup and mustard theme, I think you've nailed it. And I would kind of like to see that one day, like an actual ketchup and mustard theme system. Just red and yellow everywhere.
I sent you a picture of one at Computex.
At Computex, I know.
It was a good one.
I thought
there was an
very
actual
well done.
tiny bottle of ketchup in the case, which is very cute.
So, I mean, if you're running with that theme, okay. If not, then you might want to get some sleeve cables there that are...
Well, hey, how about the night shot, though, right here? Look at the night shot. Look at the keyboard. Look at the matching keyboard.
So much matchy-match.
It's very matching. It blends in nicely there. All right,
so...
Obviously, the biggest complaint here, as is often the case with systems, is the cables on the power supply. So, sleeving those cables, or getting in cable extensions, or getting a different power supply that comes pre-sleeved, or any of those options, would make everything in here blend very nicely.
I would get a new power supply because those ones look like they're super yellow, just right where they plug into the unit, and I feel like that would be kind of hard to cover up.
Very yellow.
So
also don't know what cooler this is or what GPU this is. This is an AMD card. I'm pretty sure it almost looks like a 295X2, but no. I think
No.
it's maybe an XFX 390 or 390X or something like that.
Yeah.
But I could totally be wrong.
Possibly.
Anyway, though. David, you have what appears to be a very nice and very functional system. I
Yep.
hope your 6600K is overclocked. If not, overclock the shit out of that.
Yep.
You got a pretty decent cooler and you can get some extra headroom. But thanks for sending that in.
Yes.
Replace
appreciate
those,
that.
Replace those cables.
Also, thank you, Larry, for the donation. We are not going to QuakeCon, to my knowledge. Who knows, though?
No.
Yes, it was okay. You bumped into me during the Deadmau5 concert for the NVIDIA thing in Austin.
Oh yeah.
Cool. I can't say that I remember exactly who Larry was. I couldn't attach that to a face. However, I'm sure if I saw you again, I would know exactly who you are. In that case, it was nice meeting you. All right. Let's move on.
Well said.
Yes, indeed. Let's move on to Will. Will sends in his system, which is rocking in a H44? No, it's S340. It's an S340 to me.
Got a 1070 Founders Edition in there.
Damn, son. Got a red and black theme.
You must have
I like
been
it.
quick on the draw.
Like it.
I'm curious, Will, whether you picked that up via an online store and you were just got your order in quick, or whether you actually stood in line somewhere, because it's been difficult to get those right now.
Yeah, so kudos to you, though, for grabbing one. I'm sure everyone else in chat hates you.
All right, so here's the thing. Here's the thing about this build. The two things that I don't like about it, and this is purely aesthetic, as Print My PC often is, the two things I don't like about it are two things that are also very, very, very functional parts of the system. One is the Founders Edition card, which in and of itself I have no problems with, but it's silver, it's green logo, it doesn't blend. It doesn't blend with this system,
That
which
is so vain of you to say.
This is your segment. It's all about being vain. Look what it's done to me. The second thing would be that Hyper 212, which, again, extremely functional. I bet it's a great cooler. I don't know what CPU you have under there, but I hope it's an overclockable one that you've overclocked. And those are the two things that don't seem to aesthetically blend with the rest of your system. The rest of your system is beautiful.
Get one of those new Cooler Master coolers that like light up red. You know what I'm talking about? The big ones. They look like glass. The glass Cooler Master coolers that are all red LEDs and stuff.
You mean the Master Cooler?
The Master Cooler.
It's like $160.
Is it really?
They're really expensive.
Don't get that cooler.
It's very
Fuck
maybe
that
$120. They're
Good lord.
They're as much as an all-in-one 240 millimeter.
Do you know if it performs as well as like a?
I don't know. It's still in the box over there.
Oh, you have one.
I have one.
Well, all right. Well, we'll have to wait for Paul's review to see whether or not it's worth it for you to buy one of those
Jay did
coolers.
some testing with one.
I think it would look. I mean, they look beautiful and it would match certainly with your case.
Well,
but if it's that expensive,
I do have a.
wait for the performance reviews.
Hold on.
Ah.
Oh, sorry.
I agree with Paul. The Founders Edition cooler is pretty great for a reference design. However, it doesn't really match. Obviously, you don't really have many silver accents in there,
Here.
let alone the green. Okay. Oh, this is Cryo
This
Rig.
is a CryoRig.
This is a nice option, though.
H7, which
Yeah.
would be an inexpensive option
It
for
has-
your Hyper 212.
It has a black cover on the front of the heat sinks, on the top of the heat sink, so
Yeah.
that
Bear in
would look
mind
better
this
than
is
the Chrome.
not LGA 2011 compatible. It only works with mainstream Intel sockets.
Right.
Otherwise, I would have shown it to you guys on my channel already, because the one video I had planned where I was going to use it
on a
was with the
2011.
LGA 2011 board. But it's got like a top plate across the top, which is just it looks aesthetically nicer than the Hyper 212, and it performs quite well at the same time.
It doesn't say 2011 here.
That's because it's not compatible with 2011.
So you just overlooked that it didn't.
I've every cooler of this type that I've seen
has also supported 2011.
has also supported 2011.
Right.
I now kind of understand CryoRig's product stack a little bit better,
Right.
and they do have models, other H with another number after it, that does support LGA 2011, but I think they're a little bit more expensive. This one's $35 on Newegg.
Not bad.
And yeah.
140 watt TDP for $35.
Yes.
Not too shabby.
It's a little
So
cooler. All right.
might want to check something out like that. But overall, apart from those two things, I mean, I don't really have much else to say. Your cable sleeving's on point, so
Cable sleeving looks
Good job.
beautiful. Very nice system. All
thank
right.
you, Will.
Moving
Next
on
up.
to Dean.
All right, Dean. Oh, this is Dean Smiley.
Dean Smiley.
Good old
i5 4670. Z97P D3 motherboard from Gigabyte,
Yep.
8 gigs of HyperX memory,
Yep.
GTX 770, H55, 120 gig SSD, and a 1 terabyte hard drive.
I will say right now, the Batman does not match with anything else in your case.
That's flair right there. That is pieces of flair.
No, that is sheer faux pas.
Batman, Pokemon, and apparently an Android barista. Right?
I like the Android barista.
That's what that is?
Yeah, it is. He's got a little coffee thing.
Yeah. The Android barista.
There's no
I didn't know that was a
software
thing.
that's called like Android Java.
Android barista. Wait, now here's another shot, and all of the pieces of flair have been removed.
It seems like you're doing some serious work on your system right now because it's just changing by the second. However, if we take a look at the side profile shot, which is, I think is just one over, it's a pretty solid little system. Looks like you've got some decent performance here. You've got an AIO in there. You've also got a 600 watt power supply. I would take the sticker off of the power supply, quite frankly. I would just black it out at this point. Just try to make it as black as possible.
Yeah.
That's the one thing you have going for you. Is you have a lot of black stuff in here.
Because you can't do anything about your motherboard heat sinks.
Yeah.
So you gotta kind of go towards matching with those, which is pretty much gonna be black and copper.
Right. I would think about getting a new case in the future.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean because
Why?
A case can do a lot.
Is this just the
in terms of aesthetics?
Is this just the perspective, or is this 5 1/4 inch drive
Very short.
No, at an angle? Does it look like the far end is angled down?
That's just the perspective.
That's just the
It's got to be
perspective?
the lens or something.
Okay.
It's just like
Maybe it's
melting
more,
off
maybe it's
the
more
side.
evident in other pictures. No, we don't have enough. We don't have enough information
No.
to solve this mystery. All right.
But yeah.
Obviously, a 24-pin cable extension might help out. A black 24-pin cable extension and or a new power supply.
Yeah.
Or just leave that power supply, remove the sticker, and clean up your cable management.
Yep.
Other than that, you got a pretty clean-looking system there.
Yep.
And at first, I was curious why you had your 120 millimeter heatsink or radiator fan as an intake, but it looks like you're going for positive pressure.
Yeah.
Because you got intakes on the front and the back, which is probably still just fine.
Cool.
All right, good job, Dean.
Thank you, Dean. By the way, thank you, Crafty Hack, for the donation.
Crafty Hack.
Yes, the person who sent us the dildo did not include any lube.
That's true. That's
So-
kind of inconsiderate.
So we will be. That's I know, right? It's kind of like he's wishing us harm in that sense.
Just assuming that we can produce enough ourselves
Yes.
for proper
I mean, I don't think I've ever been that wet ever.
penetration.
Yeah. So we will definitely take your advice. Non-conductive water-based does seem like the way to go.
Good call.
All right. Next, we've got not a very good gamer. We're gonna run through these last few here because we are running short on time.
Yes, we are.
All right. Everything is.
RIP Mobo, RIP hard drive.
Okay. First off, I would put the power supply inside of the case.
Okay.
That would be my first bit of advice. My other critique would be, again, if you want to get some cable sleeving in there, ketchup and mustard everywhere. It's a very nice cooler that you have in there. I don't think you're really going for a color theme. Looks like you've got some blue dims. However,
What the hell's going on here?
everything else is all over the place.
Sorry.
Oh, okay.
We only have this one picture, right?
Just fix up your cable management. Things are crazy. Just fix up the cable management. Maybe add a rear exhaust fan in your case.
Yeah.
Just to redirect the airflow. Just make sure it gets out properly.
It's hard.
Not the best picture, I know.
It's hard to say much about this one.
Yeah, I would say just cable management. It looks like it could use a good cleaning, maybe. I don't know if it's just the picture quality and how it's grainy, but might be some dust on there. I can see on the heatsink, looks kind of dusty.
Memory is not matched very well. I mean,
Yeah.
blue rest of
rest
what
of
looks
it's
like
black.
an EVGA 980 or 980 Ti
Yeah.
or something like that.
Right. 980
Which
Ti
is
probably.
gold. Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean,
just get some black dims.
the system has a lot of potential.
Mhm.
There's lots of space and everything, but yeah, different power supply cabling would make a big difference. Different memory would blend things in a bit better,
Yep.
and it does look like it needs a good cleaning overall.
That's that shit.
And don't be too quick to blame the motherboard. Motherboards are often blamed for systems not working properly, and it's often erroneous. So
What did he blame the motherboard for?
he said he's having a bunch of problems in his
Oh, yeah.
power supply and his motherboard are
No,
broken.
I've
or
never really had
motherboard and hard drive.
too many issues with motherboards. It's always something else, yeah.
I mean, they can have issues for sure, but
Oh, yeah.
They often get blamed. All right, Silver Shaman.
All right, let's make this the last one. We have one more after this, but we'll exclude that one here. Silver Shaman, this is the guy who sends us fudge, isn't it?
Yes, he is.
Hey, Silver Shaman, thank you for all the fudge, bro. Shit is so delicious. Keep sending it. But what do we have here? You've got it looks like an NZXT. Is that a 4 something switch? Is that what it's called?
970 Strix and a
970 Strix.
Oh, the case, you mean?
Yeah. I forget what the name of that one. NZXT for sure.
Hold on, he's got more on his.
Wow,
blog.
he's got a whole page. He's got a blog.
Case.
Oh, it's Bitphoenix M.
What?
Wait, what? No, that doesn't seem.
He does lots of builds, so maybe his.
Wait, there's. Okay.
Is this it?
Yeah.
Silver Shaman blog.
There it is.
.wordpress.com. Everyone should go there and visit.
Do it.
Leave
him lots of dick
pics.
Is
this what we're looking at?
I think so. Just just look at that.
Yeah. Okay. There we go.
Well, that build's not done.
All right. It's an H81M Plus.
Okay.
I don't know what's going on here. Driving data cables.
Look at the finished build. Look at a picture of the finished build. Oh, is that it?
Is it finished? I don't know.
Let's see if this case gets finished.
It's intense. This is it's like a 410. This is a nice case to build in. He got exactly what he'd expect for this price. And for more options, like all the drive cages being removable, you'd want to pay more.
Okay.
That's what he said.
So if I'm looking at the picture here that you tweeted, cable management could definitely use some improvement.
Yeah.
I would also, again, remove both stickers on your power supply, the one on top and the side, just to clean things up. Looks like you've got a blue LED fan on your CPU cooler. And you've got yellow on your motherboard, it looks like. On that H81, I know exactly the kind of yellow that those types of boards have, and they're not the most appealing, nor are there other components out there that really match with that. So I'm guessing you have a non-overclockable CPU, which is fine.
That's an H81 motherboard, so.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know, man. I don't really know how to get this any more matchy because you've got that yellow on the motherboard, but you've got a blue LED fan there. I would just upgrade everything.
Just change
Except your video card's good. You have a 970.
All of the components.
Keep your case, keep your video card, keep your power supply, keep your RAM, change the motherboard. That's what I would do.
The motherboard is probably the most limiting factor when it comes to color coordination.
Yes. And if you, I would say, kill two birds with one stone and get an overclocking capable motherboard, and maybe upgrade your CPU to something that's overclockable as well, depending on how old this.
Yeah, but he's saying he's got a $440 upgrade budget.
Yeah, you could do that.
Is that what he's saying? He has $440 more to spend on this system?
Yes, I think so.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and you can definitely get a new motherboard and CPU for that. That's overclockable.
Then yeah, do what Kyle said.
Do that, and you will be smooth sailing, brother. Because that's still a pretty good case. It's not like you have a ton of hardware
to just fine.
Support in
Nothing
there.
wrong there.
All right, that's going to do it for Pimp My PC.
Yay.
Thank you all for sending in those pictures. Stay tuned for another episode where we'll do this all again, and you'll have an opportunity to send in your shit.
Yay for things.
Let's move on to Face Off. This is our next segment.
No,
Paul and I will go head to head in a
it's not.
crappy online two-player game.
You're wrong.
I'm not wrong.
The things you're saying are incorrect right now.
I am.
See the big red text.
You're right. Let's move on to sponsor spot. How do I miss that? How do I miss the giant red?
It's right there.
It's because I'm on autopilot. I've done this a million times, and I just
32 size font and red.
I know it's
with exclamation points.
My brain sometimes.
Yay, Gigabyte!
I should not have a YouTube channel.
Big thanks to Gigabyte for sponsoring.
Yes.
Kyle, can you please turn that camera on?
I sure will.
Guys, right now we're gonna do our very best to give you a quick unboxing. We're gonna do like a half unboxing of this motherboard for Gigabyte.
An inside look.
And then we're gonna show more of it on my half of the show. So this is the Z170X Designare.
Designare. That's how you pronounce it.
Yes.
Designare.
I wanted to say Designare or something like that, but no, Designare. This is what they're talking about. So. If you're going for a mainstream Skylake processor build, this could be a very viable option for you. Kyle is going to start with a very dramatic unboxing. Incredibly dramatic.
I'm all about theatrics.
You've turned that.
It's on.
It's on. All right.
Do I need to focus it?
We might need to focus it.
Okay.
We've done this in the past where we have had a handheld camera. We now have a fixed camera to hopefully make this less nausea-inducing.
Yeah.
And we're hopefully going to show you some close-up shots of this motherboard.
My arms will still be waving violently,
But
though, and that can create some motion sickness.
Kyle's arms do flail,
I'm a flailer.
as they are known to do. All right, so
I'm a flailer.
let's give this a shot.
All right.
Here we go.
All right.
We do need to focus. You can keep going. I'm going to focus.
Yes, Joker, you are correct. It is RGB.
Of course, it's RGB.
Of course. Something. If it comes out in 2016, it ain't gonna fly if it ain't RGB, yo.
All right, we got focus.
RGB is love. RGB is life. All right. So we're doing the unboxing here. Comes in this beautiful cellophane wrap, which is non-conductive, and it does have makes a nice crinkly noise, which is great for ASMR. It's an appropriate size for the motherboard. Wait,
Motherboard fits.
What are we doing? What are we doing?
No one cares about that, Kyle.
I'm sorry.
All right.
Got carried away there.
There it
All
is.
right, let's try to angle this towards the light.
I'm gonna make it brighter.
Yeah, maybe. If you can, you can be my gaffer.
Turn up
Paul the
ISO.
gaffer. This is actually a pretty nice looking board. This board is sick as tits. All right, crank that ISO, bitch. Crank that ISO.
There we go.
Yeah.
All right, so
All right. So
I'm gonna focus better too.
So I'm gonna show it off, and you just talk about it.
I talk about it.
Yeah. I'm doing all the heavy lifting here, Paul.
Okay. We have
Holding the motherboard.
we have steel reinforced PCI Express slots right here, as you can see. We also have steel reinforced memory slots or DIMM slots.
That's very important.
You got of course some cooling on the power delivery for the CPU.
Overclocking.
Yes, we have an M.2 slot that's right there.
Storage.
NVMe compatible M.2 slot
Fast.
right up there by the CPU. Not only that, but there's also a U.2.
Faster.
U.2 is right there. So, granted, I don't know. I'd have to open up the box to find out if those are mutually exclusive or not. But
If they're sharing any lanes.
yeah, if they're sharing lanes, you do have fewer lanes with Skylake than you do with Broadwell.
True.
Broadwell E or Haswell E, of course. But
It's got a very nice kind of a simplistic design. It's not super loud like the Phoenix SLI that we took a look at last week. So it's not super gamery. Doesn't have that like transformer aesthetic, which I actually like. I prefer kind of the more simplistic aesthetic here. It does have an amped up audio kind of cover plate here with the trace layout, trace lighting, and separation from the rest of the board to reduce any kind of EMF interference. I believe it does also light up. Take a look at the rear I/O. You can see you've got quite a few USB 3.0 ports there, Gigabit Ethernet LAN, Intel, I believe. You've got two USB 3.1 Type-C connectors.
that's nice.
That is pretty nice. I have not seen many motherboards with two of them on there.
That's quite nice.
That's pretty sweet.
And I think I could be wrong, but I believe this has the RGB LED lighting going up the entire. No, I'm pretty positive this is.
Oh
the
yeah,
case.
up and down here.
Goes down the entire right edge of the board. Actually, all of these on the back are individual LEDs.
Does it have any other LEDs around it? Because I know some of their boards
I don't know.
have them around the
I don't
PCIe
know.
slots.
It's
All right.
it's a mystery.
Well, check it out. I mean, yeah, it's a motherboard, and it looks pretty cool.
Good stuff.
There's little lightning bolts on top of their MOSFETs.
That's fancy.
That is fucking tits.
This is super fancy.
This is
Kyle's dropping F-bombs during the sponsor
during the
spot.
sponsor spot. Hey, you know what?
It's perfect.
Gigabyte's a chill company, man. They'll be down. They'll be down for it.
Alright.
All right. Thank you, Gigabyte, for sponsoring this show. We do appreciate your support
I do too.
and your high quality motherboards as well. Wait, this is yours.
But
I have to give this back to you.
we'll figure that out.
Oh, I'll put it over here.
We'll figure it out later.
All right.
Yay, sponsorship.
Yay, sponsors!
All right, what's next, Kyle?
Sell my soul. News. Let's talk about news really quick.
News?
News.
We're not
News?
doing face-off?
Oh, let's do face off.
Are we going to do face-off? It's 6:32.
Oh God! All right, we're gonna skip face off. We're gonna save face off. We're gonna just like copy paste this face off segment that I had planned for next week's episode.
We didn't test face off either, so I would not be sure if it would actually work.
So don't worry, you're still gonna get the same face off experience, but we'll do that next week. So let's just dive into the news, and we'll try to go through this relatively quick, again because we're short on time here. So the RX 480 has been shown to overclock to 1.6 gigahertz. This is a WCCF article. However, this information is pretty much anywhere you look on all the tech review sites. First off, we have a straw poll. So if you guys want to take this quick little poll, it is about the RX 480 and what you guys think about it, because I'm very curious to see what the public opinion is so far on a card that hasn't yet been released. However, it almost feels like it has because there's been so many leaks everywhere.
So much information about it.
Specs and performance and all this kind of shit, that I'm just curious to see what is all this doing for the public. Like, are you guys excited about these leaks? Does it mean that you're on board now? Or are you like now supporting this card? Or could you care less and, you know, whatever, NVIDIA for the win, fanboy bullshit? Who knows? I'm just curious to see what you guys think about it. By the way, thank you, Lord DiCapo, for the donation. What's your videos when I drive for work? Yeah, you know, the videos that Paul and I make are great for driving as long as you're not actually watching us instead of the road.
That would seem challenging to watch while hopefully you listen while you're driving.
Yes, exactly. It's good podcast material. Keep up the good work. Thank you very much. Dildo from last week, you will have to search harder and longer if you want to find the dildo.
If you look
within
carefully, you just
might find
it.
Tip. We don't have any tips for you.
You don't like maintaining any kind of mystery, do you?
I thought that was still mystery.
No, I'm just tell people exactly where it is and what they should look for.
I'm sure someone has already pointed it out in chat.
You're right.
Missed it.
You're right, and that person is now their discovery has been diminished because you have just said it for anyone to hear.
Well, I like to shit on people's dreams, Paul. That is what I do best.
All right.
So let's talk about this.
As long as you're okay with that.
All right. So what's already been revealed so far, in terms of rumor, I should say, 36 compute units, 2,304 GCN cores, and a 256-bit memory interface with 8 gigabits per second GDDR5. For a total of 256 gigabytes per second of memory bandwidth. All fun stuff.
You can see where the leaks are originating too.
Yeah, XFX and Sapphire have both
This is clearly from XFX.
Yeah, XFX and Sapphire have kind of been put on blast here, just for having a bunch of shit that's been leaking everywhere.
Shady NVIDIA partners.
Apparently there's a guy.
AMD partners.
Apparently there's a guy.
Radeon partners.
Yes, they are. There's a dude who's anonymous, of course, who's been in talks with WCCF Tech, who they said is super credible and all of his sources check out or whatever. Apparently this guy was doing a streamed live gameplay. He was streaming live gameplay with the RX 480. He was streaming live shit with the RX 480 already. And he had it overclocked to 1.6 gigahertz. So that's exciting.
That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, it's very impressive. And then from the pictures that you can see here in the article,
this right here.
Yes, from the pictures you can see we've got a 75mm blower style fan, pretty typical to a reference design cooler.
It says an RX 480 overclocked to 1607, and the picture is of Firestrike Ultra. Oh wait, your system storage. Graphics. Ah, there we go. 4X, RX 480. Okay, never mind. Right, never mind. Sorry. Forget what I was saying. I was about to complain. I was wrong. Point being...
Paul can be wrong.
Point being what Kyle was saying.
So XFX and Sapphire, there's been pictures that are just flooding here, both of which have backplates. Now, Sapphire has a partial backplate that just covers the PCB, and there's a little bit more of an extension of the cooler that goes beyond that. And SFX is actually the one vendor here that has a full cover backplate. However, both cards are still technically reference design in terms of the cooling capacity and whatnot, the cooler design, and the same length.
These pictures look fake to me.
They're all It's just Photoshop. It's clearly copy-pasted one over the other. So yeah. Also, if you look at the next link that's here, Paul, there's been talks about a reference-only launch with the RX 480, which means we won't see any add-in board partner cards the day of launch, which is the 29th of this month. So this card goes live for sale, allegedly, on the 29th. However, you're only going to be able to purchase a reference design, whether that's from XFX, Sapphire, or AMD themselves. We're not going to see the custom type of things, the custom coolers from add-in board partners until shortly after that. However, one of the dudes from OC UK, a staff member, said that the reference cooler that AMD's kind of put out here is really effective and performs well. It's quiet.
That would be a refreshing change.
It would be. So I'm hoping that he doesn't secretly work for AMD or something and he's not biased in any way, and that we can actually expect some decent performance out of a reference cooler design. Because that'd be great. Looks great, quiet, performs well. These are all words coming from him, whoever he is. So hopefully that's true.
I think the cooler looks quite nice.
I think it does too. Yeah.
I think it's... I think it's monochrome enough. Granted, there's some red accents, but they're pretty minimal.
Mm-hmm.
I think it'll blend in a lot of systems.
Yeah.
It's pretty straightforward. It doesn't have a lot of the all metal design stuff that some of the the third party
custom ones
designs are gonna have, but I think altogether it looks good. If it actually performs well at the same time, I will be even more impressed. Cause do you remember the Hawaii event, right?
Yeah.
Then the 290 and 290X launched.
Right.
And because Kyle and I were both there, and we remember when they held up the Hawaii card, the 290 or the 290X when it first launched, everyone's like, "Oh my god!"
Yeah.
Ah, look at it, so beautiful. It looked like
it's like being at a strip club for nerds.
It looked like those cards over there on the far side.
Yeah.
Those are coolers. Those are 290X coolers over there. And then it wasn't until a month later when we realized actually those coolers are garbage.
Yeah,
they're really bad.
They're so hot.
They're not good at all.
They're so hot and loud.
Yeah, so I really hope AMD's come up with both an aesthetically pleasing but also a very effective design.
I agree. For
the reference card. But almost always you can expect that the third-party manufacturers, you're going to have RX 480s from MSI and Asus and Gigabyte presumably, and XFX of course, and Sapphire. So it'll be nice to see those as well.
Yeah.
Although hopefully they won't all look like the Sapphire one that we checked out last week, because that one was hideous.
Yes. Oh god. We should never speak of that. Whoever buys that,
never speak of it again.
Okay. All right, moving on to our next story. Samsung is getting ready to ship their first ever 1 terabyte NVMe SSD.
Hey.
Actually, this is a first for the consumer market.
NVMe M.2.
1 terabyte, yo. M.2 drive, yes, of course. Rob Bland, it's not the most exciting name, CEO of Ram City, confirmed that a shipment of the SM961 1 terabyte SSDs from Samsung are en route to his company in Australia from down under. It's faster than the last gen SM951 and the 950 Pro. It's faster than both of those. New controller. It features a new controller. This is the money here. New money is the controller that is now going to be running a lot cooler and thus solve one of the big issues that had plagued the 950 series, the 950 Pro, which was thermal throttling.
Yes.
If you look at all the reviews in Antec, Tom's Hardware, thermal throttling is consistent with this drive, however fast it might be. So hopefully with this new controller, we're going to be seeing a lot less of that, higher performance all around, and it's going to be boosting VNAND performance up to 3,200 megabytes per second sequential read, and 450,000 random read IOPS at QDepth 32. Sexy, yo. Capacities will be offered in 4 different capacities: 256 and 512 gigs, as well as 1 and 2 terabytes. 2 terabytes on an M.2 drive. That's faster than a 950 Pro. Stays cool, doesn't thermal throttle. Exciting. Relatively exciting. If it all lives up to the hype.
Can they make it on a not green PCB?
That will be the icing on the cake if they can do that.
Please. Samsung knows this. They knew it with the 950 Pro.
Right. Not many other vendors are getting it though.
But this,
Not many other vendors
this looks
are
like
listening.
this looks like a finished product though. This doesn't look like a sample. This looks like a
You know what would be fun?
retail product.
Is to test if I were to just go out and spray paint a drive like that, if it would affect anything at all. If I just spray painted it black, took the sticker off, spray painted the whole thing.
I bet you could.
Maybe use some non-conductive spray paint.
What's the stuff called? I have it right there. I can't. It's right there.
Oh.
It's a camo.
Camo?
Oh, the Plasti Dip.
Plasti Dip.
You could Plasti Dip it.
You could Plasti Dip it?
Yeah.
Yep.
You just have to tape off the connectors.
Right.
Yeah.
And that could be a thing.
Yeah.
So exciting. This will allegedly be the fastest consumer SSD to ship ever.
I keep being so torn when I see motherboards like
We're skipping this, by the way.
We're skipping this.
Yeah, you can
screw that story.
Fuck that one.
It's a stupid story.
It's dumb.
I keep being so torn when I see like nice looking M.2 SSDs.
Yeah.
And I'm like, ooh, I want to put that somewhere where someone can see it and be
Right.
like, oh, look at that sweet M.2 SSD.
Mm-hmm.
And then you see other motherboards where they make like covers for it.
Yeah.
And you're like torn. You're like, oh, I guess I need to find a crappy looking M.2 SSD
Right.
to put in there.
To not waste the...
So that I don't feel like, man, I wish my cool looking M.2 SSD was visible.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes, exactly.
So if you have an M.2 SSD where it shows, you got to get one that looks pretty.
Yeah.
But if you have one that's naturally got a cover built in for it, then you have to have
You gotta
the
get shit
crappiest looking but best performing one.
Right.
And perhaps this could be it.
So maybe
If they stick with the green PCB.
Maybe there could be a new metric that all of us reviewers go by. Like instead of price to performance, it's like
Price.
ugliness to performance.
It's like a 3-pointed, it's one of those triangular graphs with
Yeah,
price,
right.
performance, and
aesthetics or
and
whatever.
aesthetics.
And
Yeah.
it's like
It doesn't look
pick
shitty.
two.
Yeah.
Pick two.
Yeah.
One of them is going to be lacking at some point. Thank you, Larry, for the donation. Thoughts on Titan X price drop? What's the price drop at now?
I don't know. I saw a bunch of the other ones. I didn't really check Titan because I don't really consider Titan to be...
I mean, from a gaming standpoint, it's got to be less than the price of a GTX 1070 in order for it to be worth it to me. It's got to be cheaper than a 1070, and I don't think it's going to be. Again, from a gaming perspective, if you're into computing shit, floating point precision is important to you, then you can spend a little bit more than that, I feel like, and be justified. But what is it being dropped to?
All of the price drop information I've seen has been about 980 Ti, 980, and 970 GPUs. I haven't seen anything.
What's the 980 Ti for now?
This is from June 16th.
It's got to be 550 or something. 600 at the most. Oh, oh no, wait. 980
Ti is now selling on the street for closer to $450. So
Wow.
400 to 450 is what I've seen for 980 Ti.
Okay.
MSI's GeForce GTX 980 Ti Gaming 6G Golden Edition was going for $400, $370 after rebate on Newegg until they ran out of inventory.
Yeah.
Best deal at the time of this writing is a Zotac 980 Ti 6 gig amp edition for $430. This is a PC Gamer article, guys, that I pulled up, by the way. So anyway, yeah, 400-ish to 430 to 450.
Okay.
For 980 Ti's.
That's not terrible.
970 can be had for as low as 240, 220 after rebates.
Wow. As much as a GTX 960 was at launch.
And yeah.
Which is fucking crazy.
But still, AMD's cards haven't dropped yet. And
I know.
Depending how they line up with these cards,
yeah, AMD's
going to be selling them for $100 or $200 for an RX 480, or 230 to 250 is what we're expecting for an RX 480 with 8 gigs.
And a little bit faster.
So, these prices could drop even further.
Yeah, I hope they do. I'll buy all of them.
That'd be super sweet.
All right, and let's talk about our last story of the day, which is about Twitch. Good old Twitch, the lovely and beautiful site that we are currently streaming to.
Yes, indeed.
suing the shit out of ViewBot makers.
Yeah,
or ViewBot sellers.
Screw those ViewBotters.
So I didn't really know what was up with this until I read the article more thoroughly.
Except for the ViewBotters who might be watching our show right now. In which case, you're welcome.
Shout out to the ViewBot makers.
Shout outs to all you bots. Yeah.
I mean, hey.
Any of you non-humans watching us right now, but counting as humans,
you're definitely fast-tracking our success into the Twitch community.
You're doing it right.
Okay, so what is this all about? ViewBots. What the fuck is a ViewBot? ViewBots are bots. They're not real people. They're just computer algorithm or programs, I should say, that infiltrate a particular channel to either increase the view count or the follower count, or they could be malicious and start spamming in chat or whatever if you wanted to like sick them on a rival streamer, for example. There's just bad news all around. Bots are shit in terms of the Twitch community, and some people are using them because they think that coming off as like a larger channel than what they really are can kind of fast track them to success.
Look at all those bots in chat.
I know none of these people are real. All these
they're obviously
Hey Kyle, you piece of shit.
Fake people.
Well, I love you.
It's a Kyle. There's a Kyle. There's a Kyle hating bot in chat right now.
There's a Kyle hating bot. They've become sentient, and we are all fucked.
Yep.
So, yeah, Twitch bots, these view bots are horrible. And the crazy thing is, if you scroll down in this article just a little bit, the first image there, is you can see that these view bots are being sold in packages. They're like full-blown package deals, and there's plenty.
Oh, look at this. This is a great deal.
There's tons of sellers of these view bots. You can pay $38.99 a month for 475 viewers, 300 chatters, so people like bots, I shouldn't say people, bots that are actually chatting in your Twitch chat to make it seem more legit, 4,000 followers, full anonymity.
Why won't this purchase button work?
Because it's just an image, Paul.
God damn it.
It's just a screen grab. You don't actually want this.
This
is bad.
Where do I go to buy the viewers?
No, Paul. We're exactly talking about the opposite of what you should do here.
Oh, okay.
You do not want this. This is bad for the Twitch community.
Buying viewers is bad?
Yes. Buying viewers is not a good thing. It is ruining the integrity of the Twitch community, of the Twitch streaming platform. It is being malicious and harmful to certain streamers that are being attacked with these view bots. And it's a disingenuous way for other streamers to grow their channels. So, by all means, Twitch, carry on and sue the shit out of these mofos. And they're doing just that. Twitch is suing the 7 largest view bot sellers in order to maintain the integrity of their community. And I support them. I hate bots, personally. Unless I'm playing them in CSGO, because they're the only things I can kill in that game. Twitch bots should all go to hell. And the people who sell them for shit tons of money and make a profit off of disingenuous metrics are just thorns in my side, I think.
You know, that's a good segue, Kyle, because in my half of the show, we're going to be talking about shady ways of making money that might not be the most scrupulous activities, and whether or not we think people who do that are shitty.
Well, hot damn! I can't wait for that, and that's a perfect time to wrap up this half of the show. Guys, thank you so much for watching. We have Johnson's Shadows, by the way.
We do.
Before we close out,
good old Johnson's.
I remembered. All right.
Good
couple Johnson shoutouts. I got Dose. I've got Dose. Ooh, I'm low on inventory. Holy schmacks. Daniel. Johnson shoutout to you, brother. CPU Cooler shirt. Thank you for picking up a CPU Cooler shirt, Daniel.
Daniel gets a double Johnson.
Damn, Daniel!
He also gets an English pint glass.
Back at it again with
just
the
like,
English
just
pint
like
glass.
This one right here. Cheers.
Woo!
Cheers to you, Daniel.
All right. And then...
Enjoy that nonsense.
And then, Michael. Shout out! Johnson, Michael!
I don't have a double Johnson for Michael.
Damn, Michael.
But hey.
Stay positive.
Still stay positive, though.
Stay
I
positive.
do have a Johnson for Jack. Good old Jack picked up a Thumbscrew gray logo shirt.
Oh yeah.
Wonderful. Thank you, Jack.
I just got an email from Shannon from Thermal Take.
Oh yeah. Hey, Shannon's buying shit too.
Shannon is apparently buying our shirts.
Shannon's buying our shirts.
That's awesome. What's up, Shannon? Thank you for watching our show and supporting us by buying a shirt.
I do have...
Shannon's really cool.
I wanted to give a retroactive Johnson, if I could.
Retroactive.
I'm going to give one to Corey right now, because that's what I found. But there was an order...
I'm going to do a retro Johnson shout-out.
You shut up.
Shout out
No,
to
look.
Miguel.
This is why.
He bought one of everything in
This
your
is
store.
why. All right. So retroactive Johnson to
Thumbscrew.
Daniel, presuming this is a legit order, of course, because he got like 7 different things. Daniel, thank you so much for your patronage, sir.
Damn,
He got a thumb screw shirt in multiple colors and a Zero Insertion Force shirt, as well as a white logo shirt, and that's fantastic. Okay.
All right.
Beautiful. Guys, thank you for watching this half of the show.
Yes, absolutely. Be sure to like it on YouTube if you're watching us there, and if you're watching us live, be sure to stay tuned because we are about to go live again with Side B on Paul's half of the show. If you're watching us on YouTube, go ahead and head over to Paul's Hardware on YouTube. I put a link in the description of the YouTube video. If you're on Twitch, just stay where you are because I don't know why you're doing the shocker thing.
I was doing multiple...
The dildo really got to you. I think you haven't been the same ever since
Again,
you...
you're not really all about subtlety.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not. Anyway, thank you guys so much for joining. We are not done yet, so stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Yes, indeed.
Yep.
I
Beer.
should have been more on top of the cutting things off. That would be much